Hey everybody, my name is Brandon, aka the BrandoCritic, and on this channel it's my job to point you in the direction of movies worth checking out. So if that interests you, definitely hit that subscribe button. And today I'm here to tell you if Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle is still worth a watch, especially because Jumanji The Next Level is coming out just around the corner. Now before I get into this story, I just want to say something real quick. I don't like the first Jumanji movie. I didn't grow up with it, and I watched it only because this new movie was coming out. And when even going into Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, you know what, my sister wanted to watch a movie that night. We said, all right, let's just watch Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle. How bad can it be? This movie is really, really good. And I'm going to tell you why. So in Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, we have Spencer Gilpin, played by Alex Wolff, and he is your standard high school nerd. Unpopular, terrible with girls, but an absolute master at video games. He also does homework for his old friend Anthony, aka Fridge, played by Sir Darius Blaine. And Fridge is your standard football jock who only associates with Spencer to get his grades up. Other than that, Fridge wants nothing to do with Spencer. We also have Bethany Walker, played by Madison Eisman, and she is your standard pretty, blonde, self-centered, popular girl, and is the embodiment of every single white girl that I had to pour tequila shots for back in my bartending days. And we have Martha Capley, played by Morgan Turner, who is a quiet, shy girl who is super cynical about everything and everyone. All four of our characters end up in detention and come across an old game console with a game titled Jumanji. Once choosing their characters, they get sucked into the world of Jumanji in their new avatars. Spencer becomes Dr. Smolder Bravestone, played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, a strong, powerful adventurer who literally has no weaknesses. Fridge becomes Franklin Mouse Finbar, played by Kevin Hart, who is an expert in zoology and is a walking inventory for the other characters. And I said walking inventory because he's not very fast. Bethany becomes Professor Sheldon Oberon, played by Jack Black, who is the brains of the group with skills in cartography, archaeology, and paleontology. And Martha becomes Ruby Roundhouse, played by Karen Gillan, who is a master in hand-to-hand combat and is a total badass. Together they must return an ancient mystical jewel to the Jaguar's Eye to save Jumanji and return home. So is Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle worth a watch today? Absolutely. This movie reminds me of why I love movies in the first place. This movie is fun, it's exciting, it's action-packed, hilarious, and it has a ton, and I mean a ton, of heart. And there are many reasons for that, but I would say that the main reason why this movie works are the characters, because they are so likable and they have absolutely great chemistry with each other. And not only that, it is great to see these actors play against type. You know, when you think of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, you think of movies like Hobbs and Shaw and all of his action movies where, you know, 100% alpha is not alpha enough for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So in a movie like this, where yes, his character, or at least his avatar, has no weaknesses, he's super strong, super fast, and just a total badass. He's a total masculine alpha dude, but he is playing it like a shy nerd, a shy, unpopular kid in a grown man's body. And he does a great job of it. And while Karen Gillan and Kevin Hart don't really go outside of their comfort zones too much, I mean, Karen Gillan does kind of play like an awkward, shy nerd. Kevin Hart still has that big ego, but Jack Black steals the show. He's obviously the one who had to go through the biggest change in terms of the character he has to portray, but he gets the most amount of laughs in the movie. He does such a great job with it. And the crazy thing is, you don't see, hey, this is The Rock acting like a nerd. Hey, this is Kevin Hart acting like a jock. Hey, this is Karen Gillan acting like a shy, nerdy girl as well. And this is Jack Black acting like a self-centered white girl. You actually do feel like these characters, like the kids we met in the beginning, are in these avatars. It's very, very believable. And this movie is just a great story of these characters learning about who they are and them helping each other out, even though, like in the beginning, they do not like each other. They could not be more polar opposites, but throughout the entire journey, they learn to come together. They learn stuff about themselves, about each other, and they make a great team in a great action-packed, funny, hilarious movie. And that's one thing I did not do in the first Jumanji movie, was laugh. This movie is absolutely hilarious, mainly because of the characters like I listed before, but I find that it has the absolutely perfect balance between adventure and comedy. And there's one line in the movie, I won't spoil it, but it cracks me up every single time. My sister and I will just break it out of nowhere. We'll just say the line and then we'll be on the floor laughing. It's comedic genius. And while one complaint I've heard with this movie is that the villain is not really fleshed out, but my argument to that is that the movie is not really about the characters defeating the villain, right? This villain is just an embodiment of the game, and then the game is a catalyst for these characters to work with each other and to learn about themselves and each other. It's a catalyst for the inner conflict between the characters. And this movie is just fun and clever, and I felt like that was just lacking in the original. And like I said in my first Jumanji review, I just found that movie just so dark and depressing. It was just these characters that would just roll the dice and then something terrible would happen to them and they just had to try to survive. And it wasn't fun, it wasn't inventive, it was just bad thing after bad thing after bad thing. Whereas this movie, they go with the Tron route and they go, okay, these characters are going to become these giant avatars, these heightened versions of themselves, these total opposites, and we're going to put them into this huge, ginormous video game world. And that adds a lot of little clever touches too. You have a life bar on your wrist. There are non-playable characters that will just repeat the same things, and you need to say the same things for them to keep going. These people are programmed because you're in a video game. It's those like little clever little touches that make this world fully realized. And yes, there are bad things that are happening to these characters, but it is happening in a heightened reality of a video game world, and they do it for laughs. So when Jack Black gets eaten by a hippo, it's not completely scary because they play it up for laughs. And that's what makes this movie work, is the humor with the adventure. Unlike the original movie where I didn't laugh out loud once, I didn't find it funny, I didn't find it fun, I didn't find it entertaining. This movie, I felt, got the right balance. Now, everything I just listed makes this a great movie on paper. But to get that up to a 5 out of 5, you just need that extra little personal touch to it. That little layer of heart that just allows you to get sucked into the world, get sucked into the movie, and have a wonderful, wonderful time. And Jumanji has that. When I was watching this movie in the theater and watching it again for this review, I felt myself become transported back to my 8-year-old self. Going to the movie theater to watch an adventure, to be magically whisked away to another land, to another dimension, be someone else. And this movie embodies that. I felt like I was an 8-year-old kid watching this grand adventure and just having my imagination just triggered. My imagination was on full force, full throttle watching this movie. It was absolutely wonderful. I'm gonna give Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, a 5 out of 5. I loved this movie. I was not expecting to. And that's the power of movies. Sometimes you'll go into a movie really expecting to love it, and it totally falls flat. And unfortunately, that happens more often than I'd really like to admit. But sometimes you can get that one gem where you go into it and go, who knows what this is gonna be like? I don't know if I'm gonna like this or not. And then you love it. And it becomes an instant classic in your collection. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle is that movie. I love it. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I want you guys to let me know down in the comment section down below, has that ever happened to you? Where you went into a theater where you were not expecting much and you walked out a different person, or at least saying, I did not expect to like that movie that much. I'm at a loss of words. I love it. Kingsman's a movie that definitely did that for me. And Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle is one of the most recent times that's ever happened to me. So has that happened to you? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're new and you want to see more videos like this, definitely hit like and subscribe. Take care.